All right, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. If you're not done so already, give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, here, so nice rally for the market. S&P up 1.6% on the day. Triple Q's up 2%, Dow up 1. So a nice little rally here across the board. For the market, we do have earnings out. Google getting smacked here after hours. So that is down sub 99 now. And that is into the 98.71 handle, as you can see here. I'll throw on the after hours for you. Take a look there, getting spit roasted here. So back sub 100. That's giving back all of the gains from earlier today. Microsoft is down as well. Although that's basically kind of holding the flat line as that opened around 245, and that's basically where it's trading right now. So Microsoft and Google giving back some of those gains. Texas Instruments reporting as well, down another $10. So a little bit of a hit here in the after hours for the market. Now, there's a lot going on today. There's a lot of people calling a bottom today. I saw a lot of longtime bears turn bullish. It definitely gets my attention when I see that. We had a nice rally. Let's not make any bones about it. It was on lighter volume for sure. So again, that's a little bit of a red flag here. But again, I'm going to tell you guys one more time. You know what I'm going to say here. A 2-year Treasury, it had a decent day, up 11 basis points, but again, way off the highs here. And bigger picture, you did try to trigger inverse head and shoulders there. It failed. So that came back in, 2 years though. It should not have finished off the highs. Basically, the bottom line is the market rallied because the dollar took a big hit today. And a lot of that was on rumors of Treasury buying bonds, basically, kind of like an Operation Twist. And what I'm going to say to that is, if that's happening, then why is the yield curve down? I mean, why are the 2s and 10s spread down 12 basis points today? Opened the day at 26, closed at 38. Why did, and you can't really see it here because I don't know why TradingView got rid of it or what happened, but the 3-month 10-year actually went inverted today. And I don't know what happened, but if you saw my Twitter, I tweeted it out. The charts are on there. But I don't know what they did, but this went inverted today. Again, if they're going to fix the yields, right, then why is the bond market not front running that? So that's telling you that there's not really, that this is kind of again, another false rally. Now, with that said, could there still be some upside in this market? Yeah, there could be. This is a pretty strong move. Again, it was on light volume, but it was a strong move here on the spiders. Now we are down after hours. The real big one is going to be Apple. I believe they report tomorrow. Let me just double check on that. I'm pretty sure Apple reports tomorrow. But again, that is going to be the big one. You can see the spiders are trading down a little bit after hours and back below that 38.50 area. So that was resistance. Let's take a look. I'm just checking the earnings here really quick. Yeah, so Apple, Meta tomorrow, and then of course we have Amazon on Thursday. So yeah, Apple will really be the big dog. That's really all that matters. Of course, Meta is a little bit in there too. Not as big as Apple, obviously, but that's going to be really the big dog. And we're still kind of into a risk zone here, and we're right up into that 50 moving average. The dollar did get smacked pretty hard today, so we got to respect that. But you got this, this 50 moving average here, and this upsloping trend line, which is held pretty much all year long. And again, that's coinciding with this level here on the ES. So, all things considered, this is still, just from a technical standpoint, just look at the charts here. We're still basically coinciding with that same level on the ES as we are on the dollar. And I'm still following this pattern here on the ES here. And really, it's more of a 4-hour pattern, I guess. It's a little bit easier to see here. But you can see, if we could open to that area there tomorrow, I think that would be a pretty good risk reward for a short. But it's tough with earnings, right? Because it looks like we're already backing off of that already. We haven't even gotten up there yet. And we're backing off of that already. Then we have Apple tomorrow. So we've got to be really selective in this environment. And I am very, very neutral. Now, it's still big picture. This is not a bottom. I just explained that to you with the bond market. And that's really what it comes down to. The bond market doesn't lie. The stock market lies all the time. The bond market's not lying to us. Now, we did trigger you know, that said, we did trigger yesterday, and I didn't really talk about this much, but kind of get rid of these lines here for you guys. But we did trigger at inverse head and shoulders yesterday on the daily. So if we take that target, you know, that could get us up into the 4,000 handle, believe it or not. So I'm just going to copy this so you guys can see it. You know, so that takes you right up into that area there, 4,000, 4,100. Now, again, if we look at the weekly, we still have bearish inside bar. So you're still inside there. And then we look at the Russell 2000, and we talked about this really yesterday and previously, the Russell 2000, still with a weekly inside bar pattern. And below the 200 and below the 20. Now, if you get above, you know, this level here on a weekly close, then that can change. Dow Transport, same exact thing here. So weekly inside bar, you know, you get above the, you know, this 20 moving average on a weekly basis, then that changes. But for right now, I got to go with the weekly time frame, which is the more dominant one. And quite frankly, you know, people are calling for a breakout today. We haven't even gotten above 390 on the SPY. We haven't gotten above 3,900. You can't call it a breakout yet. It's a nice move. It's certainly a nice move. Let's not, you know, we have to respect it, but this is not until you get a weekly close above 3,900. If you do that, then I'll immediately flip. Say we're probably going up to 4,000, maybe 4,100, wherever that you know, that head and shoulder target was right in this area. So right in that range, I could definitely see that. I wouldn't rule it out, but for right now, you know, I'm very neutral here. We still have to deal with this 3,900 area. We still got Apple's earnings. We got Meta. We got Amazon. So there's a lot of things that could move this market here. As you can see, obviously, with Google and Microsoft, Google's still down below 98, or excuse me, 99. So sub 100. Either way you slice it or dice it. Microsoft now at 243. So not a really good look here on earnings. And it was kind of, you know, suspect here, right? The market just rallied right up into earnings here. The volatility index here, the VIX, took a pretty good hit, broke this trend line. This still should have a good amount of support around 28. And then you got that 50 moving average right in that area. So it'll be interesting to see if we get some type of a bid off of that. Again, big picture, I'm neutral-ish. Or excuse me, short term to medium term, I'm neutral-ish. But big picture, it doesn't really change a thing. Nothing's really changed. So we're just going to kind of leave it at that for now. And again, just take this one day at a time here. Let's look over the triple Qs. So again, some follow through there. We got above that gap fill. To be fair, this gap fill is kind of minor here because we rallied up, put in a little flag for a couple days, and then we juiced off of that. So again, if you do trade up, you're going to have a lot of resistance up in this area. And I think I talked about this, might have been over the weekend or last week, but you have kind of this X marks the spot here. So you've got this pivot low going back to early September, coinciding with that blue trend line, coinciding with the 100 moving average. So there's going to be a ton of resistance up there. Again, the 50 MA in that zone as well. If we go into that area straight up and we're overbought, it's going to get a reaction off of it. I mean, there's just no way about that. If we consolidate, then all bets are off. You could potentially move higher, but that's what we're looking at right now on the indices. So again, 3,900 on the SPY. That continues to be the master level. We're not there yet. Obviously, we had a nice little fade off of Microsoft and Google and Texas Instruments. But for right now, we just got to take it one day at a time. You know, not everybody, but I'm seeing a lot of people on there, like on Twitter and so on, like, oh, you know, we got to short, we got to go long, we got to do this. You don't have to be in every trade every minute of every day. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just sit on your hands, you know, and wait for the market to give you a setup. Things are cloudy and nebulous right now. There's turbulence. There's Japan doing intervention. There's Putin talking about nuclear war. There's economic data. You know, we got some terrible housing data today, and that was originally kind of the part of the catalyst for the rally. We've got yield curves inverted. There's lots of stuff going on right now. Just let the market get into a level or give you a pattern, and then we'll jump on it. But anyways, let's flip over here. So semiconductors, again, kind of a laggard today. A little bit of a weak sign here. I don't like to see the semiconductors lagging behind. They basically, you know, the bears held the 189.94, we'll call it 190 level by the close. So semis closing just below that. And again, you want to see the semis leading, and they backed off of resistance. They're down even more after hours with TXN's earnings. So again, a little bit of weakness here from the semis. Not a good sign here overall. IGV Cloud Software, nice little update. Again, short term, could you get up to that 50 MA and head and shoulder neckline? Absolutely. Would that be resistance? Right now, yes. You've not done, You had a little bit of a flag here, but that's not close enough to resistance for me to consider that minor. I would consider that major resistance for the time being. Dow Transport, same thing. Again, we talked about it yesterday. This kind of channel here coincides with the one I showed you on the ES. And again, 50 moving average. And then just above that, you got the gap fill right here and the 100 MA. So right in this area, there's a good amount of resistance. And again, that is still major resistance right now, unless we were to start flagging. So again, nice rally today, but nothing's really changed here overall. I would just consider the power of the move today does give me a little bit caution here if I was a bear. That's really kind of the long and short of it. Interest rates obviously came back in today. So 10-year down 3% on the day as far as the yield. 30-year came in as well, basically filled that gap and then got a little bit of a bounce. So we'll see what that does. But again, nothing really saying we've topped out just yet. There's, yields are still holding up. We still finished nicely off the lows. 30-year, though, did come in a little bit. You see the TLT here up 3% on the day. So that had a nice rally. You had good volume the previous week, so maybe you could make a case that there was a little bit of maybe near-term capitulation or something of that nature. But in any case, nice little rally there for TLT. But I really need to see that 2-year start to really, this is still over and over 20 moving average rejection. And just the fact that we finished off the highs, so far off the highs today, on a day where supposedly the market broke out, according to a lot of people. I just can't see the reasoning here for the 2-year to be up, especially if the Fed is, or if the Treasury now is supposed to be doing Operation Twist. Anyways, home builders today, nice surge here. Again, weak economic data for housing, but it's good for the QE aspect of it. Still a weekly bear pattern here until proven otherwise, but it's hanging in there for the time being. ITB, same exact deal. Then VNQ finally getting a lift here. So we talked about that. It's oversold. It needs to get a bid. And it finally did. You got a higher high there on the daily. Nice surge up almost 4%. So a nice move for VNQ. So near term, I could expect that to come back up. You'll have some resistance around that, 83, 84 handle, the gap window right in this area. And then, of course, the gap fill at 85, which also coincides with this previous pivot low there on the VNQ. But nice little rally there for VNQ, finally having an outside day and making a daily chart higher high. So we'll respect it for the time being. XLF here, financials back above that 150. So nice move there for fins. Again, we talked about this yesterday. Maybe 33.50, 34 could be a good level there, but it is moving higher. So we'll respect that as well. For now, broker dealers right up into that upper trend line, just closed above it. We'll see what it does. It has a chance to confirm tomorrow, but either way, there's still a lot of resistance up here just above 450, so just be aware of that. But broker dealers, nice little move there for the short term. Flipping over to crude. So crude, again, still kind of just in this mixed bag here. Been sideways really for the last week or so. It's hard. You have kind of like a micro bull pattern here inside of kind of a down move. So again, a little bit neutral on crude. Again, nothing's changed. Top side trend line is still resistance. Support is down here around 75. Nothing really has changed on the crude chart right now, which is a little strange considering the big down move in the dollar today. Maybe the crude's calling the bluff. Who knows? XLE here, another green day. Not by much, though. But what can you say? It's holding up well. It's very overbought here short term, and you are into resistance, so just be careful with XLE. For the moment, I do think that does need to pull back, do some backing and filling. XOP up as well. Did not make a higher high, so nothing's really changed there. But this is still in good shape as well. And OIH, another higher high today, so that has been a powerhouse. It does look like it wants to go up there and fill that gap. I don't know if it does it this week. It is very overbought here in the near term, but hey, it's holding up well. You got to respect it. Nat gas making us a killing here in carnivore trades, and it is still surging here after hours. We took the first half off, averaged in $5.50 and sub $5. So we got a nice average on our boil position, which is 2 times long. Nat gas, and we're absolutely killing it. That is paying us nicely today. But nat gas up 9% today, back above that 550 handle. I told you this, guys, yesterday. Look at that beautiful hourly inside bar. Up move, sideways consolidation, huge breakout. And then now, we expected to stall out 200 moving average. You've got a little bit of a base there, so it probably stalls out, but I think this wants $6 in the near term. And then I think eventually it does come up here and fill this gap. But but it probably will need to pull back after that. Maybe it hits that 20 moving average and pulls back as well. But if you put in a higher low, I think it goes up there and fills that gap. Either way, nat gas in good shape, huge surge. I mean, I told you guys, this is just such a monster area of support here. There was multiple factors for this trade. That was an easy winner for us, and really pretty stress-free. We had it less than a week, and it's paid us really nicely and continuing to pay us here in the after hours. Anyways, we talked a little bit about the dollar, but again, daily 50 moving average and this trend line should be support. If you get a weekly close below that, that does change things, but you still have that that big power inside bar there. So again, you still have a lot of support down here at, call it 109.35, 109.50, somewhere in that area. Again, that coincides with this previous pivot high. So dollar index still has a lot of support, even if you break that area. But for right now, it's still hanging in there. Trend is still up. You did take a nice dump today, but we still need to respect it here in the big picture because it has not done any technical damage yet. So just be aware of that. Gold here, green as you'd expect with the dollar down. Not by much, though. Maybe gold is also kind of, gold seems to be trading a lot more off of bonds than it is the dollar, because bonds really, specifically the 2-year, did not do a whole lot today, and neither did gold. So maybe also a little bit of a red flag that the stock market's a little offsides. Either way, it's hanging in there. Let's just leave it at that for now. Silver, same kind of deal, although the chart of silver is a lot better here. Again, I like that failed bear flag from last week. Nice pop, and now just kind of a couple of inside days there on silver. That is holding up well for now, so we'll give that the benefit of the doubt. Platinum also hanging in there. Additionally, trying to put in a higher low, trying to consolidate. I don't see any problems with it currently. And then copper here. Again, no confirmation and basically back tested this area. If you get back inside of this area, then it's basically the same kind of trade as before, because no confirmation above that line would open the door then potentially for a move back down to this lower area. And copper is a little bit more sensitive to economic data, so just be aware of that. All right, let's flip back over here. Let's get to Bitcoin. I finally have something to say about Bitcoin. So nice move here and an outside day, finally. Finally, an outside day for Bitcoin. Excuse me, it is coming in off the highs just a little bit. Ether was up over 11% at one point, but is backing off of that white trend line. So that is a head and shoulder neckline, and that is a test there. If you close above that, I'm going to call it a weekly, just because it's been so long. We'll call it a weekly close above that neckline, that white trend line. That will be a negated pattern, and I will say that Ether has some serious legs for a move up, as probably does Bitcoin here. But nice outside day for Bitcoin. Needs to follow through tomorrow. I can't stress that enough. You really need to follow through tomorrow. If Apple, craps the bed on earnings, Meta craps the bed on earnings, and the market does what it just did for Google and Microsoft, this could get reversed very quickly, and then you could start to see an acceleration to the downside. But for now, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It's above 20,000, but we need to see some follow through tomorrow. Anyways, guys, let's take a look back here at the futures one more time. So yeah, still below that 38.40 area. Let's take a look at Google. Yeah, basically settling at 98.40 right now. Microsoft 244, so just hanging in that range. TXM, again down $10 in the after hours, and that came off the highs there into that necktie there on the daily. So that was a pretty good resistance area anyway, but that's trading all the way down almost near the 52-week low. So not a good look for the semis. Those are coming off the highs again in the after hours down to 186, 187 area in the after hours. Anyways, guys, be careful here. Let the charts come to you. Don't rush into any trade in any one side, and just be careful in this environment, as this is a very touch and go market here. It's very news driven, and just let the charts, trust the levels, and you'll be fine. Anyways, guys, gonna wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me at carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.